The Local Show, sponsored by Victory in Motion, home of knee repair, not knee replacement, on News Radio 570 WSYR, on 106.9 FM, and live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. The Local Show features in-depth conversation with business owners, employees, and influential business leaders throughout Central New York, exploring their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in our growing community. The Local Show is produced locally by Zoe Advertising. Now your hosts, Tom and Steve.
We're back on The Local Show on 570 WSYR, which means you're here too. I'm here with...
Except for Steve.
Except for Steve, yes, he's not here. I'm here with George Powers. George Powers, the owner of Powers Accounting and Payroll Made Simple, who deals with lots and lots of businesses for years and years. And you make the perfect co-host because you can speak to a lot of the challenges that people have and a lot of the successes, too. One of the successes is Dr. Marc Pietropaoli. You know, Dr. Pietropaoli, you said you were an orthopedic surgeon, you know, trained and all that. How is it? Is it different when you got into your own practice, balancing the business side and the doctor side? Like, do you have to immediately go hire other people, or did you try and do it yourself for a while?
We get tons of training on business. No, we don't. We get zero, absolutely zero training on business in medical school, residency, when you're a doctor in training and fellowship, when you're doing my sports medicine.
Yeah.
So I never planned on doing that whatsoever. As you get, this is an interesting story, but I did my fellowship down in Birmingham, Alabama, with Dr. James Andrews, who's the greatest sports medicine doctor of all time. And I wanted to come back to the Syracuse area because my wife and I are from upstate New York. I went to Syracuse University, college medical school residency here. So I bleed orange. Basketball looks better this year, by the way. So anyway, I came back and I joined a group, just like most doctors do. And I didn't know anything about the business part of it. I didn't really care. I just wanted to see patients and treat patients and do surgery and do the things that I learned in my fellowship. But then I always had this need for customer service, and I didn't feel that the group that I was in was really giving the customer service. They treated the patient as the enemy. That's about all I'll say. But it's like, you don't want to see this person.
I have felt like that.
Yeah. Well, it happens. You don't want to see this person. You don't want to see that person. I'm like, I don't get it. Like, aren't they? We don't stay in business if we don't see people.
Patients.
So so I decided to get with one of my friends who had done his residency in Syracuse, and he was in a big group that I won't mention that was merging, and he wanted to leave. So we were going to go together and form a practice. And of course, when you try to get out of a business, there's no compete things. I had to stay for a year, which was not fun. And this other gentleman, he got out of his practice early, although he got sued for doing it. And so all the fun stuff. And so he was already in practice on his own in Syracuse. And about 6 months into it, he's like, I don't think I want to have two offices. Why don't you just go into business on your own? I'm like,
oh boy,
great.
Wasn't planning that.
So I didn't really know what to do. So what I did was I talked to my attorney, which was good. She was very good. And she said, why don't you rent some space from the hospital in Skaneateles, which is where I lived anyway, because they had an urgent care center and they had some open space. So I rented that. And then I hired experts. I hired consultants. Karen Zupko is a national consultant. I was the first orthopedic surgeon in the area to have electronic medical records. I've always kind of been on the cutting edge of things. I'm not patting myself on the back, but I just like that stuff. I like being on the cutting edge and being innovative. And so, I ended up working with Community Computer, which is in Auburn. I'll throw them a bone. And I just hired, you got to hire good people. It's really, really hard. It's way harder to manage staff than it is, as you know, than it is to treat patients.
Jeez.
But we just treated patients as best as we possibly could. Try to create raving fans. That's a great book.
Great book.
And Ken Blanchard actually has a place on Skaneateles Lake, so he came and lectured us.
No kidding.
That would be cool.
I didn't know that.
So our goal was to basically treat people better than we would even treat ourselves. We called that one up in the golden rule, and that worked amazing. not to get political or anything, but that's just the truth. Like Obamacare hit, and then reimbursements went way down. It's very, very difficult when your reimbursements going down, but your employees they deserve to get paid more each year, right? Sure. And so your revenue, either if you're in an insurance-based practice, I had no say with the insurance companies because I'm just a single orthopedic surgeon. We built the practice up. We had MRI, X-ray, physical therapy. So little by little, we built it up to what we wanted, but it just became more and more difficult to deal with insurance companies. So fast forward to 4 years ago, and I decided I needed to get out of the insurance part of things after 25 years. And it really has been amazing because most patients pay thousands and thousands of dollars out of pocket anyway. So I never thought patients would necessarily be willing to pay out of pocket for services that, of course, are not covered by insurance. A lot of these services, these regenerative medicine services, but they are because they're tired of the runaround. They're tired of getting cortisone, which damages your joint. They're tired of not knowing what's wrong with themselves. And so they are willing to, they worked their whole life. They beat their body up. They're retired now and they can't enjoy themselves. And that's probably our number one patient.
Really? Tell us about, unpack your Clarity Day and what that involves. And is that an expense right up front? Would somebody have to pay out of pocket to have a Clarity Day?
Yeah, so we are a non-insurance practice. And so some of the things, it depends on your insurance, just like anything else. Like if you're an out-of-network provider, some things can be billed to your insurance. Medicare is different. If you're out-of-network, they don't allow that. And workers' comp is completely different. But with most insurances, if there is a covered service and you see an out-of-network provider, it can still be billed to that insurance. But as far as the Clarity Day goes, like I said, the average person, they're in the system trying to figure out what's wrong with their knee, for instance, 3 months, 6 months, a year or so, and they still don't know exactly what's wrong. And all they've been told is either suck it up or get a knee replacement, even though they've already tried like the cortisone and all those other things that don't work and damage your knee more. So we're going to figure out exactly what's wrong with you all in one day. When I tell people, how long has it been bothering you? 3 to 6 months. Do you know what's wrong? No. How about if I told you that in one day, one afternoon or one morning, I can figure out exactly what's wrong with you and then give you a plan. And even if you choose not to go forward with that plan, at the end of the day, you will have clarity as to exactly what's wrong and how it can be treated or not treated. So that simplifies what we actually do. What we do then, I kind of went over earlier, you're going to spend that time with us. I'm going to spend an hour with you in the beginning, or my PA is. At the end of the day, we're going to spend another hour with you. So that opposed to the 7 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So you're getting, I might, instead of seeing 20 to 40 patients a day, I'm seeing 2 to 4 patients a day. So we need to be compensated for our time as well. And people are more than happy to do that because they realize the value they're actually getting.
It does sound, for a person who's been in a customer of a lot of doctors, unfortunately, over the years, it would sound like a tremendous day, because that's typically what you want as a patient. Okay, what's wrong? What are my choices? Now I can make a decision.
Right, then you make the decision.
What are the costs? And then it's my choice to make a decision, as opposed to, well, we're not really sure. This could be it.
Or the insurance company says you can do this or you can do that. I don't have to deal with that anymore. I have to. They're in the business of making trillions of dollars.
Right.
Okay, doctors don't make trillions of dollars. People think they do.
They really don't. And I know as an accountant.
So there you go. I mean, I'm not saying they can't make a good living, but they're burned out and they're having to spend 7 to 10 minutes with a patient to make ends meet and to make a decent living and to pay their staff. That's wrong.
I hear you. Well, that's Dr. Marc Pietropaoli doing things differently and getting great results with regenerative medicine.
And we're hiring, by the way. So
that's right. Hiring.
Yes.
And
we're busy enough that
what's one of the main positions you're hiring for?
An appointment setter. So someone who's going to talk to patients about exactly what I said and get them in the door, get them to make that first step.
All right. Sounds like a great place to go to work.
Awesome.